Hello and happy, beautiful day to you. Welcome back. On today's episode, I want to talk to you about key distinctions to getting real results with healing, with transformation, just because so often people are doing, all of the mind work or the effort or the visualization or the meditation or all of these things, but not really getting the real results that they're wanting in their life, in their health, in their healing. And so that's what I want to talk about. And by the way, part of the reason that is because so many people have been reaching out and saying how much they absolutely love the last episode. Our volunteer, just incredible, beautiful, beautiful being, such a beautiful heart, so sweet. And of course, if you listen to that episode, just so stuck with her health, with coming back and having one health issue and then it come back and and dealing with that stuckness and the hurt and the frustration and the wanting to check out of life and all of those things. And I get it. I totally understand. I was there in my own way through my injury, meditating and trying all of the things. And so I want to just kind of distill it down to clarity for a moment because, so many people have been saying how much they love these episodes and also just looking at what is the key to getting real results. And if we just simplify everything, the key to getting real results is creating a real change at a deeper, deeper, deeper level in the mind. And a simple way to think about this is if you imagine somebody who goes from feeling hurt and rejected to included and loved, or somebody who goes from feeling fearful in life to feeling confident and safe and alive in loving life. If you think about that juxtaposition, those real transformations, that is key for getting results. Now, of course, when it comes to healing, everybody's situation is different. So you want to make sure and be specific with your own mindset on what change is needed for you. But one of the tricky things is that so often we try to just bury our emotions deeper and deeper and deeper. And so even I see that all the time with meditation, for example, where people might have deeper level of programming of hurt or fear or, upset or rejection, whatever it is. And then they start, meditating and doing positive thinking and all those things. It can be nice and wonderful. But the problem is that real pattern at a deeper level isn't changing. And so what it's doing is it's kind of putting an icing on the cake, if you will, or suppressing and burying what's going on at a deeper level in the subconscious mind. And so what happens is it's suppressed. And so you don't feel it as much. You don't see it as much, but it's still there in the subconscious mind and it can still create issues. So that's one way to look at it. Or what can happen is it can be suppressed. And so it's suppressed so much that we can start to heal or transform. And then what happens? The problem pokes its head up. It's like cutting out a weed out of a garden. It looks gone, but then it can sprout back up. And so that's the other way you want to think about it is if this wiring is still in your subconscious mind, even when you suppress it or feel like it's gone, if it's still there, it can keep popping up in different ways like a weed. And so you really have to rewire it at a deeper level. That's the key to getting real results. And what's beautiful is when we start to do that, that's when everything changes. Now, if you think about our culture for a moment, so often if you think about people who say things like stress management or anger management, and what can happen, if we think about anger management, let's say somebody used to get angry and they go off at people and they get really, really upset. And so that's one way that they used to handle anger, if you will. And let's say they go to anger management and then they start managing angry. They have the feeling of feeling angry where they get angry and then they go for a walk. Now, of course, that's an amazing improvement. They get angry and take it out on other people and yell and scream and instead they go for a walk. That's a lot healthier response. And yet, for healing, we have to get rid of the emotional pattern completely. And so when that change happens, so somebody's not even going into it anymore. And I know that for some people, they go, you can't get rid of it completely, but you can. And that's the point. And a simple way to think about it is like this, is that imagine somebody who has panic attacks. Let's say they're having anxiety. they have panic attacks, and they're having anxiety, and they have anxiety about this thing, and they have anxiety about this thing, and they have anxiety about this thing. Well, that can affect their health. Or somebody who's embarrassed, if you just think about the mind-body connection in a simple way, somebody who's embarrassed, if they're embarrassed, easily embarrassed, and they have this situation, and then they have this situation, and they have this situation. Well, let's say they used to get embarrassed and angry about it. Okay, well, their face can turn red and they're angry about it. But then let's say they get embarrassed and they go for a walk. Their face can still turn red. And of course, they're having a different action response. So my point is that when those emotional connections are still there at a deeper level, it still affects your energy. It still controls the energy, what you're feeling, the mind-body connection is still there. So if somebody's feeling embarrassed and getting angry, or feeling embarrassed and go for a walk, their face can still turn red, so to speak. So similarly, other emotions like anger or upset or rage or hurt or rejection or whatnot, even if we suppress them or manage them, they can still affect your health. And so my point is to get real results, we really need to go to a deeper level of transformation. Now, of course, there are some complexities. You hear me say that all the time, because if it was just one emotion, if it's just anger or just upset, then everybody could be sick. You hear me say, for example, if somebody has PTSD, severe trauma, they're not necessarily sick. There's always specifics. It's a combination. So it's not just one emotion, one intense emotion. But my point being is that of course, our emotions do control our energy and do affect our health. So it's identifying the specific combination of emotions and really changing those. Okay. So my point is of course, real transformation at a deeper level in the subconscious mind is key. And that's what we've really been talking about, even on the last podcast episode where, meditation, where she's been, meditating for years and years and years. And yet the illness keeps coming back, is that, things like that can be nice, but aren't typically enough to create that real change. We need to go beyond meditation, beyond positive thinking, to really create that real change at a deeper level. So that is key. And that's the insight that I want to share with you today. And of course, if you are somebody who's really wanting to understand even more of the specifics, I have a free training on my website. You can go through and really understand mind-body healing at a deeper level, because what we are all capable of is truly incredible. So that is key. And by the way, if you haven't yet listened to the last episode with our beautiful volunteer, understanding that healing and the illness coming back, you could also listen to that as well. Very powerful and insightful. So food for thought, but I wanted to go take it a step deeper today to really understanding that shift and what that looks like to create that real change. So, and the beautiful thing is all of the time I see people change their health, their life in incredible ways when they change at that deeper level. So just food for thought. And as always, please do make a point to hit the share button on this episode. Share it with somebody you love, somebody you care about, or somebody you don't even know, because the more that every single person in our world is happy and healthy and loved and loving and healed, the better this world is for all of us. And so please do make a point to hit the share button, and please do make a point to have a most wonderful, incredible, happy, healthy rest of your day. And I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. We'll see you there.